This is an urgent video. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are -2.5. And normally I don't like giving too much attention to Thursday night games, but I am a little bit alarmed and I feel like I need to caution some people because everyone seems to want to bet the Broncos this game, and I get the inclination, but we need to walk through this situation. We need to take a deep breath, and I need to tell you why I'm picking the Chargers, but I absolutely do not want to bet this game. Now, listen, the fan reaction on the YouTube comments reminds me a few weeks back. I picked the Rams, and then all of you guys were on the 49ers, and you guys were going big on the 49ers. And I told no one to bet the game, so I'm not beating my chest and saying you guys were wrong. No, I'm not. I'm not beating my chest. I didn't bet the game, and I picked the Panthers last week. So this isn't a Lawson doing a victory lap on anyone. This is me trying to caution you guys going into a big Thursday night matchup. So last week, let me put the straight facts at everyone. I was holding a Tampa Bay -5 alternative line ticket. I was also holding a Broncos ticket -3.5 against the Colts. And listen, I sweated that Broncos game. I was absolutely worried about the Broncos. And let's get into that performance. We know what happened in the Chargers game, but you guys know why I picked the Bucs. I made it clear going into that game. But when I look at the Broncos, I see a fragile offense. I see a well-coached offense, a well-oiled machine, a rookie quarterback that is fighting, that is getting better. But I see an offense that lacks talent and does lack the outside receivers to create separation. Now, when you look at the Chargers' performance against the Buccaneers, it's kind of what I expected. The Buccaneers are a top 5 offense, and this year in the NFL, we don't have an elite defense. The Broncos' defense is very good. The Chargers' defense is very good, but an elite top 5 offense will scrap and absolutely tear up any very good defense in 2024 NFL. I will repeat, there are no elite defenses in the league. So now let's get to this game. We got 2 good defenses. We know that. I feel like they're about equal. Obviously, you would take the Broncos defense from a rushing the quarterback perspective. Herbert's taking far too many hits. But also, the Broncos offense is giving up maybe the highest rate of quick pressures in the league outside of Tennessee, outside of the Patriots. So you have to worry about that. You have to worry about Bo Nix, but also Herbert being put in bad situations. Neither offense can run the ball to help the quarterback. So you have that issue. And neither team has many wide receivers. Listen, the Broncos have Courtland Sutton. The Chargers have McConkey. But outside of that, neither team has fuck all. So when I look at this game, I see a defensive battle. The 42 over-under, I do like the under. I see a 2017 Chargers victory. Do I have a lot of confidence in it? No. Am I worried about Harbaugh? Yes. This is a game where Peyton can outcoach him. We're seeing Harbaugh clench up. For instance, in the Chiefs game, they were at the 50-yard line, 4th and 2, punted to Patty. They were at the 47, 4th and 3, they punted to Patty. And we saw Harbaugh doing that earlier in the year, and he got more aggressive as the year went on, but he is obviously clenching up. So I feel like this game, I don't want to make it NBA style. Like, I hate going NBA style, but can I give you a little bit of NBA style here? Even though Herbert's mobility is extremely limited, and it is, man, and we're not seeing him scramble the last 2 weeks. He's taken too many hits. That ankle is done. It's kind of how it was in the first 3 weeks of the year. Remember that Steelers game? He just couldn't scramble. So I don't expect to see any Herbert scrambling, unfortunately. I think he's going to take a ton of hits, and I think Bo Nix has the big advantage in that aspect. But I do think Herbert's better than Bo Nix, and I'm concerned about Bo Nix's turnovers. How many of you who are betting the Broncos watched Bo Nix against the Colts? How many of you guys saw those interceptions? He was as bad, if not worse, than Anthony Richardson, if that is even possible. And Herbert battled against the Bucs. And all of you guys doubted the Bucks. You wanted to bet the Chargers. And the Chargers have been a gravy train for us. You wanted to bet the Chargers. I told you the Bucks are a top 5 offense. But this is a game where we have 2 average offenses and 2 good defenses. Give me the better quarterback. Give me Justin Herbert over Bo Nix. Like I said, there's not a lot in this game. It's a 50-50 split. And I get you guys wanting to ride with Sean Payton. I'm worried about Harbaugh. But give me the better quarterback. Give me Herbert, even though he's hurt. If Herbert wasn't hurt and had a little bit of scrambling ability, and maybe one other receiver who could catch the ball and not have it be Jackson, or it would be a lot better. But that's the reason why I'm not betting it. I'm going under the 42. Chargers minus 2.5. Now let's get to some props. This game is absolutely horrendous for props, but I bet on a hot streak, so I'm going to cook some up for you. Give me Kamani Vidal, the third string running back for the Chargers, over 27.5 rush yards. Listen, Dobbins isn't going to play, and that's been a big loss for the Chargers. And last week on the player prop video, we hit the Gus Edwards under 40.5. Now he's down to like 32.5, probably where he should be. But I just think Vidal looks a lot better. He's getting a lot more snaps than Gus Edwards, and simply he needs to get a lot more touches. Like I said, the Bucs offense was too high-powered, so the Chargers never got in a good, positive game script for running. They're going to have to run the ball. I feel like that's the best option. I know Surtain is banged up, and last time Surtain was banged up, the Broncos gave up a ton of pass yards. But give me Kamani Vidal over 27.5 rush yards. Next prop, we got Marvin Mims over 2.5 receptions, plus 145. Listen, plus 145. Listen, I feel like Marvin Mims is the second best wide receiver on the Broncos. I mean, maybe you can give it like a little Jordan Humphrey shout. But I think Sean Payton's going to feed Marvin Mims the ball, kind of like the Atlanta game. He's explosive. He's got good yak. He can't run a route worth shit, but they're going to give him wide receiver screens. With this Chargers pass rush that is pretty vicious, with Derwin James lurking around their line of scrimmage, blitzing off the edge, I think we're going to see some quick screens, and I think Marvin Mims is the beneficiary of that. Maybe go over his yardage. I think his yardage is like 23.5 to 30 yards. So go yardage if you don't feel comfortable with the over 2.5 receptions plus 145. Next one, this is basic. This has been butter. This has been gravy. This has been the butter on your biscuit. Ladd McConkey over 66.5 receiving yards. Listen, who else is Herbert going to throw to? Is Quentin Jackson going to step up? Is Josh Palmer going to step up? Will Dissly isn't playing. Who's going to catch a football? It's only going to be Ladd McConkey. I don't like the Sutton props. I am a little bit worried about Sutton props in this game. Also, a lot of these young DBs are playing good for the Chargers. Don't let that one bad game against the Bucs fool you. It's more about the Bucs being a top 5 offense than the Chargers defense regressing. Last one, I'm going Bo Nix under 226.5 pass yards. Like I said, I'm worried about the kid, man. I'm worried about those interceptions he threw against the Colts. They were about as bad as it gets. Like I said, this isn't a great prop game, so I needed to get a fourth one on here. Bo Nix under 226.5 pass yards. Let's get this money, the home of the money pick. Broncos, Chargers, Thursday Night Football. It's a good game, but it's going to be ugly, guys.